Hello, welcome back to the channel. And I have to say, I've got mixed feelings sitting here talking to you today. I think that was clearly 2 points dropped, a massive missed opportunity to make inroads on them top six positions. And most importantly, as well, send a message to everyone else in the division to say we are a serious team and we can compete at the very top end of the table. Now, that very well might happen in the coming weeks and months to come. Watford may well finish in the top six, but when I sit here today and see that yet again we haven't kept another clean sheet, I do worry that this season may end in mid-table mediocrity. But before we discuss Watford and what I thought of us yesterday, I just want to have a few words on Preston and Paul Heckingbottom. And I'm not trying to offend the Preston fans that travelled here. I'm sure your support was greatly appreciated by your team. It costs a lot of money to follow your side up and down the country. And for those of you that did go to the game yesterday, you did help in making a decent atmosphere. But on the whole, I felt Preston were anti-football. And what I mean by that is that Watford wanted to play the beautiful game yesterday. In the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, Watford were front-footed. There was lovely one-touch passes between all of our attacking players. And it looked like it was going to be a decent game. But as soon as Preston took the lead, I just felt at every given opportunity, whether it be a throw, a set piece, a goal kick, they wanted to stop the game for as long as possible and really hinder Watford in our efforts to just to play football, just to have a bit of fun on the pitch. And if I was a neutral watching that game on Sky, I think I would have been bored out of my brains. It was a really bright start by the Hornets yesterday. Off-man Mama, a particular highlight for me. But I just felt Preston were a really dirty football team. And it's a time waste from the 30th minute in the first half. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so bad from a pure footballing perspective. And look, of course, I'm a biased Watford fan. If you're Preston, you absolutely take the draw away from home. There's no doubts about that. But I was disappointed with the football on show yesterday. And if I had paid, 40, 50 pounds to watch that in the stadium, I'm not sure, I got value for money in the entertainment on the pitch. So, yeah, if I was Preston and one of their fans and they play like that every week, I would be a little bit embarrassed. But, yeah, enough about them. Let's talk about Watford. I'm definitely not salty. Of course I am. Yeah, look, it wasn't a good start from Watford. We started the game well. The first 10, 15, 20 minutes, as I said, was really promising and exciting. Off-man Mama ran the show over on that left-hand side. Oh my word. I think Watford have found another gem there. He'll be one we sell on for a lot of money in a few years. He was absolutely fantastic, and our first big chance actually come via some great play with Mama driving forward, cutting back inside. He curled a lovely shot to the far post actually, which come off and deflected into the path of Luca Kiramgard. He had a whole open goal in front of him. He just needed to take a touch and slot home, and instead he blasted wide in front of the family stand. So Luca definitely should be doing better in that scenario. Unfortunately, though, after the bright start from Watford, Imran Louza was dispossessed in midfield and Daniel Jebbison was running through on goal. He slotted past Nathan Baxter with his left foot and taunted the Watford fans in the rookery end. And I have to say, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would have bet my whole life savings on Jebbo to score yesterday. It was written in the stars. It was bound to happen. And yeah, it's fair to say I am, and was at the time, extremely rattled. He did the social media post after the game as well, saying hold that, with a photo of him taunting the fans. But I don't think Jebbo realises they didn't win. I mean, you're trying to taunt the Watford fans on social media after the game, but you didn't actually win the game, Jebbo. You drew 1-1 away from home, so I don't think that's anything to shout about too much. But there we go. He he got his goal. As I said, that was written in the script before the game even kicked off. Watford fought back though, which was good to see. I think what I can't say this Watford team lack is character. We showed that last weekend against Derby County, fighting back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. That shows a lot of character and grit within itself. And we got the goal back via Mamadou Doumbia. Again, a nice free-flowing attacking move. There was probably 6 or 7 players involved in the build-up. Jeremy Ngakia found himself inside the penalty area. He pulled it back for Mama and he slotted away past Preston's goalkeeper. And yeah, I was feeling much more positive at that point in time. I think going into half-time 1-1, shooting towards the Rookery. Second half, I always back Watford to win games in them situations. But yeah, disappointed nonetheless to again not keep a clean sheet. Andrew French, formerly of the Watford Observer, posted on social media yesterday that it's now 1 clean sheet in 17 games for Watford, which is the joint worst in the division with Norwich City, who of course find themselves right down towards the bottom end of the table in the relegation zone. So I think it's quite obvious for me to say that if Watford are to progress, up the league this season and really make a challenge for them playoff positions, we have to keep clean sheets more consistently. And I can't really put my finger on what the issue is. I think Matty Pollock kind of lost Jebbo for the first goal. He turned a little bit like a traction engine, but of course Matty has always been like that, so I can't criticise him too much. And it's an odd one as well, because I think individually, when I look at that back line that was on the pitch yesterday, Ngakia, Pollock, Keben and Bola have all had pretty decent seasons individually, but as a collective, for one reason or another, we just can't keep clean sheets. And it's immensely frustrating to watch from the stands. The second half started quite slowly. Preston having a few opportunities down the left-hand side. Jamal Lewis putting a few dangerous balls into the area. Nathan Baxter made a wonderful save late on in the game as well. But at no point in that second half did I feel Watford were going to take the lead. We lacked that cutting edge in the final third. I think Javi after the game said we weren't ruthless enough in their moments in attacking areas. And whilst I like Luca and Mamadou as a two, I've called for that myself openly here in the Watford way. Having 2 left-footed strikers, on reflection, I'm not sure it works maybe as well as I anticipated. I felt they were tripping over each other at times yesterday, not literally, because of course they weren't doing that, but I did feel they were getting in each other's way at times. And I think sometimes, I'd love to see a big man, little man combination. I hark back to the days in the Championship with Dini Vidra or under Kike Sanchez Flores when we had Dini Igalo. I do think that combination works quite well too. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what the solution is to our attacking woes. On another day, we had 25 shots, 10 on target. Watford probably do win that game, 2 or 3-1, but it didn't happen yesterday. We didn't put away our chances. And as I said, Preston were frustrating to play against, but they come away with the draw. So who's laughing? Probably them, really. So yeah, on the whole, disappointed. A real positive, though, was, of course, seeing Georgie Shakfatatse return to the team. There was rumours the night before that he was going to be in the match day squad. That come to fruition, of course. And when I saw him on the bench, I didn't expect him actually to play 20 minutes. I thought we might see Georgie for 2 or 3 minutes in extra time. So a bit nervous about that. I mean, I trust the Watford medical team. They know more than me when it comes to his injury and how he should recover and the minutes he should play. But I'm a little bit worried that we may have rushed him back because of the absences of Vata and Kwadwo Bar. Hopefully that's not the case. As I said, I trust Javi and the medical team. But great to see Georgie back on the pitch. He didn't really do too much. He had a couple of nice touches, but it will take probably another few weeks or another couple of months maybe to get him back to the level he was prior to his injury. Iran Kunda went down at the end asking for a penalty. On reflection, it was a clear dive by Nestri, and I think all Watford fans are in agreement that if he had stayed on his feet and put the ball across the area where there was 2 or 3 men waiting for it, we may have scored a last-minute winner. But he's 19 years old. He's a very hyped-up player, of course, coming in from Bayern Munich in the summer. He's going through what I would call a big rut of form at the moment, but I think patience needs to be exercised with Nestri. He's clearly a big personality, and he has big potential as well. And I think at some point this season, it will turn into goals. So not too worried about him. But yeah, I see the criticism on social media. Clearly people want to see more from him in terms of attacking output. But yeah, as an impact sub, the pace, power, and skills he has, he's still a very exciting player to have in the squad. So on the whole, disappointed with the draw. I think that's 5 games unbeaten now, though, in the Championship, which you certainly can't turn your nose against. And we're on to Birmingham City away from home on Monday night. I think going into that one, I'm fully expecting a loss. So anything other than that will be a pleasant surprise. Let me know your thoughts and reaction to our draw in the comments section down below. What did you think of the lineup yesterday? Should Kayembe have started after his 2 goals against Derby? Do let me know, and I'll catch you again very soon. Bye-bye.